Just a quick recap on the Vedder holster. Ever since I got that claw swapped out, I know I did a short talking about it. I just wanted to show y'all again, since that short, that it is still held up. And I do still have the old claw, and I was just comparing them, and I don't know if it just had something to do with the injection molding or what it was, but the other claw just very much was more pliable. Like it was the exact same shape and everything. It physically it felt softer. So I don't know what that was about, but they got me this new claw right after I requested it, like in like 3 to 5 days. I'm just saying objective facts. I'm not saying Vedder is a great holster. I bought them a couple years ago when they were about $20 cheaper for the same model myself. So the discount code kind of worked out in that way. I do like the fact that they use these spring clips and that this particular IWB line has the adjustable cant to it. It has been working out pretty well. For an appendix carry holster, I'm going to still look for a appendix carry specific holster. But for now, this is doing its job. It is perfect exactly for what it's designed for, though, which is about a 230 to 430 inside the waistband carry for right-handed, or if you're left-handed, you know, just reverse that. So I have no complaints. The gun still locks in. I will go check, and I'll put in the description how long I've had this. But the gun locks in nicely still. And it's a pretty heavy gun, especially when it's fully loaded. I'm sure when it's fully loaded, I might... Let's just put the empty or the full mag right here. I mean, yeah, that's still holding on pretty well, and I don't have it tightened up too much. I don't know if you can see, but I mean, it's not overly tightened right now. So I will say their non-light bearing models definitely have a much better retention to them. What I've seen so far, this model of gun does not have a light bearing model of this line of holster, or I think any of their holsters available. But the P365 XL with the TLR7 sub is what I used to carry, and I had about the same experience with this one, minus the claw. It just was good right out of the box. I never had any issues. Even though it was light bearing, all I had to do was just tighten up the screw when it started loosening up. It did take a while from drawing it. It was kind of loosening my flashlight on my TLR7 sub, but I think after a while I was just kind of making some tweaks, tightening them up back and forth, and then for I think a year and a half, because I carried the gun for 2 years, so for about a year and a half the flashlight never loosened up, everything locked in nice and tight. Gun shot great, love it. Because I don't know, I love this gun, and I know how to take it apart. It's very simple, as you've seen in this disassembly that I just released recently. So the only complaint I will say is this is not a war gun. I mean, it can go to war. Just overall, this is not a war gun by any means. It's got a very, very snag-free design, which is great. However, the iron sights are also snag-free. There's not really going to be any tactical maneuvers. It's very difficult. Maybe if you get the red dot, because I know they have red dot ready ones now, and I don't know if you can get them cut for red dot, but maybe you could use the red dot. Other than that, yeah, the serrations work great enough right now, but this isn't about the gun. We're talking about the holster. So it fits great. You saw fully loaded mag, 17 rounds. This thing, it's not coming out. I just barely tightened it, maybe like a quarter of a turn earlier today after a few months of carrying it. Works great. It's got good clearance. I have no complaints. I also like that it's tuckable. That's another thing, is if you're carrying this with a small gun like the P365 or Hellcat or otherwise the FN Reflex, then like this makes the gun just disappear. And as long as you just practice drawing from tucked, it really isn't that big of an issue. The claws are a little weird on the flashlight models. but I guess that also depends on the shape of your trigger guard. This gun has a massive trigger guard. So these are just things I'm naming out loud just to take considerations. Like there's the iron sight clearance here, but clearly this isn't red dot ready, but you can have red dot ready PX4s now. Originally you couldn't, but I don't know if they necessarily make a red dot ready. I forgot if that was an option that I picked, but then you got to consider that. So just looking at all the logistics when you're picking your holsters, if you're getting a Beretta PX4 or any handgun, but specifically this one is very picky with its holster options. Just know this is a self-defense gun. You're not going to get a bunch of tactical nonsense all over it and get exactly the holster you want without paying probably close to $150 to $200. And that just seems kind of ridiculous to me. I got this for about $60 and some change. And I think if I didn't have the discount code, it'd be just under $80, which is still expensive to me, but I'm not making my own holsters currently. And the great part is at least some of them are resellable eventually when I get something else. Then the holster can come with it. So it's a lifetime thing. This holster is probably going to outlive all of us. The polymer is never going to degrade and humanity is just going to decay into nuclear chaos. So those are all the considerations with this holster. I mean, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. Its features are great. One of the key features of the claw is kind of mitigated by this particular design, but I guess, it's a compromise they have to make. Can't really adjust this when the trigger guard's in the way, so I can't raise the claw up, which, as you can see, doesn't really let it line up with the belt too much. But again, I was trying to make a compromise. This works great if I have it more canted and I'm wearing it on my side, but in the front, again, it wasn't designed as an appendix carry holster. I'm making compromises. I'm testing out things. I'm showing people what I do so that they can make informed decisions. All right. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to try to cut this one down short. I had a lot of and fuckings, so y'all have a good one.